Welcome to our 17th episode of React series, and in this episode we will be looking into what is React routers. So what is React routers? Routers is basically used to switch from one single page to other page, while we can load all your pages within a single first render itself instead of getting the request from servers and all those things. So we will just look into how to switch from one page to other page, which is from one component to other component using this React router over here. Okay, so this is our place where we left in our previous episode, and we will continue from here. So before that, I would like to show you something. This is our Indian map. So here you can see the layers are in we have some kind of layers, right? Satellite, terrain, traffic, and all these layers. So you can see over on top we have this reload button. So if once we click, the map is being reload over here. It's getting reloaded over here. But if some actions has been happening over here, it should reload, right? You can see in the top right now. If I click, the page is been reloading over here. But now under layers, if I just click on any other layer, you can see the page is not been reloading over here. This is because at the first time itself, the web page is being rendered over here. Basically, all the components is being brought up to your device and it's not sending any request or getting requests from the server. Basically, all the components is being loaded at the first render itself. So this is what a React router exactly does without sending any request to the server. We will be switching from one page to other page. So let's see how we can achieve that. So now to bring React router, we have to install a package which is npm install react-router DOM. So this will install the necessary packages for our React router, and once it's done, I'll just clear it. Okay, and again I'll just run my application over here. So now you can see our application has been working properly. Fine, this is the place where we left, right? So let's first create a component for our page 2. So in src folder, I'll just create a new file saying that home.jsx, and inside that I'll just create a function home return empty fragmented and h2 saying that home page. This is home page. Okay, and now we have to export this. Export default home. That's it. Now let's save this and open our main.jsx. Under here, I'll just import this home over here. That's it. You can see our home has been imported and we have just used in our main.jsx. I'll just cut this. Sorry, I'll just cut this and I'll just paste it over top. Okay, so now if we go and check, we have this is home page and our sign up, create account form over here. But we should have this is home page as a default place, and if we click a button, it should enter into this form. Okay, which is this form should be in page 2 and this home page should be in a page 1. Let's see how we can do this. So in import statement, we have to import the React router DOM which we installed right now, right? So import, we should import two elements from the React router DOM packages, which is create browser router comma and router provider from React router DOM. Okay, we are just importing create browser router, a single element, and router provider as a second element from the packages which is React Router DOM, which we installed it now. So now here under this create root, I will just create a function over here. Above this, I'll just create a function over here saying that const router is equal to create browser router, and this will have a argument passing as a list or array over here. Let's keep this for a while. Now inside this create router, instead of this home and create account, we should just use this router over here. Basically the syntax is okay, router provider and the closing tag, and here basically we will give some props, right? Same we have to give a props which is router, and what's the value of the props is the one which we created here, this router. That's it. So we have just imported this router provider in our strict mode, which is router provider router is, and we are just passing an props which is router, which is being created right now, create browser router over here. Okay, so now if you go and check, you can see nothing is visible because we didn't map or create account and home page in our create router. So I have said you right, this create browser router will get the arguments in a list. So this list will hold a sequence of objects. Okay, so now let's create an object saying that this object will have a three segments. It will be getting from three segments, which is path. First thing is path, second thing is element, okay, and third thing is error element. Okay, so right now we will just look into error element later. First we will just look into what is path and element of here. So path is you have to mention what will be the path of your particular component over here. Let's say you are loading the home page, right? Basically the home page will be in the path of root directory, which is a slash. And what should happen if slash exists in the URL? We have to pass an component over here, which is home. Okay, we are just passing this component over here, home. Next object is path. We have create account, right? So let's keep it as sign up over there. What's the path over here? Slash sign up. And here we are passing an element which is create account. So now if we go over here, we have this is the home page over here. Okay, let me just run this file using Chrome OS. I mean using Chrome. I just copy the link. Google Chrome. Okay, so here I'll just paste this thing. Fine. Now you can see this is home page. This is basically in a root directory. So our URL, and if you enter the slash, it will enter into this is home page over here. But whereas here we have given slash sign up, right? So in URL, if you just enter slash sign up, you can see it's entering into this form page. So basically we are just switching from one page to other page, or else we are just switching from one component to the other component over here. So now let's create a button. Okay, now let's create a button saying that if we click the particular button, it should move from home page to this particular form page. Okay, so let's see how to do that. Here inside home page, in home component, basically how in HTML we just do it by using anchor tag, right? But here we should not use the anchor tag. I'll just say why, and let me explain you with what happens if we use anchor tag and what happens if we doesn't use this anchor tag over here. Let's see. As a first step, I'll just use the anchor tag, okay, and I'm just gonna give slash sign up. So now if we go and check our page, okay, why is it not happening? Because we didn't give any inside this anchor tag, right? So sign up. Now you can see a link is being generated. So basically buttons we want, right? So for buttons, if we just import some bootstrap class names, a button can be a link or the link can be button. Okay, so now class name, this is equal to bootstrap thing. We have btn, which is button, and button primary. Okay, so now you can see we have created a button. So that's what basically a tag can be also button. A button tag can be also name. If we just add some few classes of bootstrap or else css matters over here. So if we click on this button, you can see it's been switching into the sign up page over here. Fine, this is working properly, but I said using anchor tag is not a proper way. Why? Let me demonstrate with the React routers link command. I'll just have both the buttons together and then I'll just show you the difference over here. So now in import statement, we have to import link. We are just importing a element called link from the React router DOM. Now we have imported an element called link from React router DOM. So now using this link command, I'll just create a link over here. Link, okay, and close tag over here, saying it close tag should be in this manner, right? Okay, so here it should be sign up page, right? So now, okay, Chrome. So now we'll just add some classes for this. Class name, which is equal to button danger. So now if we see, we have two buttons. So sign up is a button which we created using a tag, anchor tag. Blue color is the button which we created using anchor tag. Red color is the button which we created using link tag, and we didn't link it, right? Wait, here you should have two, saying that home page, I mean sign up page, sign up. Okay, so now if you refresh and if you just click this, okay, it's switching to sign up page. Fine, so we have two buttons which is blue color created by a tag, anchor tag, and red button which is created using link element of your React router DOM. So now let's understand what is the difference and why should we not use a tag frequently over here. So now I'm just right clicking, opening the inspect, and just a sec, responsive, I'll just close this thing. Fine, now you can see in top we have a tab called network. Is it possible to place it down? Fine, let it be over here, no issues. So now this is the page where we right now, right? So okay, fine, I'll just switch this. Okay, done. So now I'm just clicking this blue button which is created by a tab. I'm just clicking it, just see, look at what happens over here. Once if I click, you can see a activity has been happened over here. You can see some thing has been going to the server and it's been getting received over here. So you're just connecting to the server, you're just communicating to the server, and you're getting this sign up page over here. Fine. Let me go to this page and I'll just refresh this. Now it's everything, we reset it. Now I will click this sign up button which has been created using link element of a React router DOM. Now you can see again we are just switching from home page to sign up page, but whereas we don't have a communication to a server here, because while we loading our React page, all these pages will be loaded at once at the first render itself. But whereas anchor tag, what it does is you will pass a request to the server and the server will provide you a response, and using those response we will be loading from one page to other page. So this is not a good way for a front-end developer to work, maintaining the request to client to server. We have to reduce the number of network transmissions from client to the server over here. So this is one thing which I wanted to say. Just ignore this refresh and all. I'll just reload and let's reset it. So if I click on anchor tag, you can see some fetching is happening over here. Same way, if I just click on this link element, you can see no fetching is happening over here. Fine. But you can still ask, why is this much more mandatory over here? Okay. So now same way in home page, I'll just refresh this and I'll reset over here. So here we have no throttling, right? If we just click on this, it shows some list of commands, right? I'll just click on this offline. Basically, we are just setting our React page into our offline mode. Okay. So now let's look a while what happens when I click on this anchor tag. You can see no internet. Basically, our React web page can't communicate to a server over there. So that's what it says, no internet. Fine. Now let me reload this. And now I'll just let it be offline. Okay. Now I'll just click on this link tag. What happens? You can see, even though it's in offline mode, our sign up page has been accessed over here. What does it mean? Our React is being rendered all our pages at the first shot itself. That's what I'm trying to say over here. The difference between anchor tag and link tag over here. So anchor tag will always get a response from the server side, and using those response it will switch from one page to other page, whereas our React router DOM's link element will render all the pages at a shot and it won't send a response or a request to the client and it won't get any response. Basically, it reduces the communication from client to the server over here. Basically, it reduces the communication between client and server over here. That's the concept over here. Fine. Everything is okay, good. Now, here we have a page called sign up. What if I give a wrong URL, which is, let's say, sign up P, which is an invalid URL according to our development over here. What does it says? Unexpected application error 404 not found. Hey developer, you can provide a way better UX than this when your app throws error by providing your own error boundary or error element prop on your route. Okay. So basically we are entering into a invalid URL. So they're just telling you can customize this invalid URLs error page also. Let's see how to do it. I'll just open our VS Code. And in source file, I'll just create a new file which is called page not found.jsx. From this function page not found brackets. Okay, these are all things which we're doing from first episodes of a React series. So that's why I'm going a little bit fast over here. So h2 tag page is not found over here. 404 error. So this is some basic h2 tag I have kept. Let's export this. Export default page not found. Okay, I'm just exporting this. And again in main.jsx, here I'll just import, let's just give it this, just a sec. Okay, we have just imported this page not found JSX file over here. Now at the first part of our video, I have mentioned you right some third element in our object, which is error element. So here in error element, if you just pass this page not found, so whenever we pass an invalid URL, it will just move into page not found error. So let's see, I'll just refresh this. So this is the home page. If we click on this, it moves to sign up page over here. Okay, so now instead of sign up page, let's put an invalid URL. You can see page is not found over here, for not for error, which is the h2 tag which we created right now over here. So this way you can create a dedicated component of your error element and you can use it over here. So that's it guys of React routers, and thank you for watching this episode 17 over here. Let's meet you on episode 18, and we are gonna reach our last episodes of React series, and let's hope for the best over here. Thank you guys.